Right now, we want to bring on the set an icon, not just in reggae music, but in the music industry, in the world. Want to welcome to the set right now, King Jammy, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Hey, Jammy, welcome to Trinidad and Tobago. Is this the first time in Trinidad and Tobago?
Yeah, first time. I'm loving it.
All right.
So Peter have to leave tomorrow.
You don't have to, you know, but, you know. So, well, some of us know and some of us don't. How did you start in business? Where did you start? How did this all come about?
Well, it's a very long story. I started way back from I was a kid, you know.
Right.
I used to hang out with King Tubbies, you know, and first I wasn't into music. I used to do electronics, you know, technician building amplifiers and things like that. Then I used to hang out on Tubbies. He had a pirate radio station, so he used to play a lot of old songs, American songs. So I got interested in music part of it. Right. Anyway, I didn't stay long there. I migrated to Canada.
All right.
Then King Tubbies built a studio, recording studio. So because I was so interested in music, while in Canada, you know, I took up back the music thing now, you know, so I decided to go in a studio, a little miniature studio, and try my hands at producing. So I produced my first song in 1973. That song was a do-over song, you know, redo song.
How old were you at that time?
Probably about, well, I was born in 1947, so you can judge from that.
All right, cool.
And I did my first production. I did it in an amateur studio with an artist by the name of Nana McLean, and the title of the song was Single Girl.
And this was in Canada?
In Canada. I produced my first song.
All right.
Then King Tubbies was hearing a lot about me now, you know, as a producer.
All right.
So he said, Jammy, you know, you have to come back home now and come and spar with me.
Amplifier fixing business
because I grew up amongst Tubbies. So I came back to Jamaica. I went back to Jamaica. And right away I was, by the way, I didn't tell you, I was an engineer too at the time in Canada. I was engineer because, you know, from the electronics to the producing to the engineer. So when I came back to Jamaica, I went straight into King Tubbies studio as a resident engineer. Before me there was Philip Smart, a very good engineer. So I took over from Philip Smart. And I started...
This is in King
Tubbies studio.
All right.
And I started to cut dub plates for the sound system all around the world. You know, they used to send from England, Germany, everywhere they used to send to cut dub at King Tubbies studio. So I was the engineer that cut the dubs, and I created a mix while cutting dubs, you know, because we used to cut from live analog tapes, you know, multi-track.
Yeah.
So I created a special sound, a mix, that they got to love it in England. So everybody would want me to cut their dubs.
Jammy was the link.
Yes. So I was there, and Bunny Lee was one of the main producers. Bunny Lee, Yabiyu,
who one of the first sound
systems?
Who one of the first sound systems to come to you to do that production in Jamaica, to do that sort of, to do that
Fatman, there's a sound system in England, in Fatman sound system. Right. Then you have Shaka, Jashaka, Coxon. Everybody started.
First guys already.
The first guy was Fatman.
All right.
And then you have Shaka and, you know, Coxon.
So you went to the electronics, you know, fixing the amplifiers, then you got into engineering and then producing.
Liquor producing.
So who were some of the influences growing up in the music industry, and who were some of the first people that you started to work with?
Well, my main influence as a producer was Bunny Lee. He was the man who introduced me to big time producing in Jamaica. He gave me the first rhythm.
Right.
When I came back to Jamaica and started my production, the first album that I did was the Black Huru album, Black Sounds of Freedom. That was my first album, because Black Huru originated from my era, Waterhouse in Kingston.
All right.
So, you know, they used to rehearse on the corner, So I like how the sound, and we decided to get together and do some recordings. So we did an album. It didn't do well, but they liked the voice and the arrangements and the melody of the artist. So
the quality of the
production.
Right.
But we re-released it, accompanied by the name of Green Sleeves. Re-released it in the 1987, I think it was 1987.
All right.
And it took off. It did well, you know. And from then, I became, you know, a producer to be reckoned with.
So who are some of the other artists that work with you? Who are some of the artists that you discovered?
Well, as a matter of fact, most of the artists who are big today, like Bounty Killer, Johnny Osborne, Admiral Bay, Lieutenant Stitchie, Papa San, Leroy Gibbon, Pinchers, Wayne Smith, Pat Anthony, Purple Man, Dennis Brown, Gregory Isaac, Colin Roach, Anthony Malver, Juna Mervyn, U Black, Super Cat, and there was a group by the name of Travelers, Flogan, Red Dragon, Shabba Ranks, Admiral Tibet, Beanie Man, Ninja Man, a lot more.
All of
I
these.
produce all of those artists because
Yeah.
my studio in Jamaica was like a Motown. You see, I opened doors to every young people. People used to travel from in the country to come to my studios, you know, to do auditions on a Thursday.
All right.
So it was like a big family there, you know what I mean?
They say that you were one of the first people or the first person to transform from analog to digital.
Yes,
in Jamaica.
that's very
and
true.
I guess most of the Caribbean at
That's
that time
very
too.
true. That's very true because
How did this happen?
well, it's a slang thing rhythm, you know.
Right.
Most of you are supposed to know about the slang thing.
So
That's the rhythm that changed the whole world. You know what I mean? That came with a different sound that captivated everybody. you know.
Right.
And I tell you something, slang thing rhythm is about 23 years old right now and it's still going strong.
Yeah.
You know, I celebrated the 21st anniversary and came out with a brand new rebirth album of the slang thing with some of the modern artists.
All right.
But how it started, I was in England in 1984. And when I called back home, there was an engineer I left there, Bobby Digital, there was my second. Right. And we have Squinching and some other musicians there. So when I called home, Bobby said to me, King, you know, we just create a rhythm, you know, but why it lasts on the thing, we can't find it back, you know, but it's a bad rhythm. So I said, okay, I'm coming home weekend. So when I come home, we work together and try to get back this rhythm, you know?
Right.
Good. Anyway, I came home and they came with the keyboards and they started to play around with the keyboard. So there goes the rhythm. The rhythm came up, but it didn't come up as a reggae beat. It came up as a rock beat, a fast tempo music. So I said, you know what? Where's the tempo key? Let me slow it down and hear the sound. So I slowed it down to a reasonable tempo. So I said, this is a wicked beat. But that was only the drum and bass.
Right.
You know? So we decided to play around and put in some piano and some percussion. I played the percussion on the sling thing with him.
All right.
And then now, what really happened, the rhythm became interested now. So I said, listen, let's go and put it on tape before we lose it again. You know what I mean? We didn't want to lose it again. So I went straight in the studio and recorded it on 8-track. That time I only have a 8-track machine. And straight away, the vibe was like, Wayne Smith was there. He created a rhythm, he created a lyrics for the song, for the rhythm right away. Under my slang thing.
Right.
Under my slang thing means, you know, for those of you who smoke marijuana, you know, he just said there was new type of herb coming in. So he decided to name this one Slang Thing, the herb Slang Thing. So he was singing about his under his Slang Thing, feeling high, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's how the Slang Thing came about and became a big hit. Big hit. Everybody wanted a cut of that. And the way I knew that that tune was going to be a hit, I had one of the most powerful sound system in Jamaica, #1 sound system for years. And I used to use it like my radio station.
All right.
When we go to play, all my new songs used to cut it and dub plate and play it in the dance hall. So whichever song the people react to the most, they say, oh, this tune can release now because, you know, people react to it.
Right.
So that's the reason why we released the slang thing when it was released. It became a big hit.
So as a producer, how do you approach music? Where you get a vibe? What inspires you?
Well, I think it's an inborn conception of me, you know, because music and electronics is the only thing I know, like, professionally. And I love it, you know what I mean? And I listen to all different type of music.
All right.
You know, one of my favorite music is country and western.
All right.
You know, just to listen to lyrical contents, melody, you know what I mean? So my inspiration is listening to other music, especially American music. When I listen to American music, R&B music, it gives me a calmness inside, so I can think of what I'm going to do when I go in the studio.
All right. All right. So, what would you say is the? Do you think there's a big difference for the way music was produced long ago to the way it's produced now? Do you think there's a change in the way producers think long ago and how they think now?
Yes, of course. You see, we and the people before me, like Sly Robbie and other musicians, we used to play the real music. You know what I mean? We used to make the real music with chords and instrumentations, and
Right.
we use a lot of instruments and things like that. But generations have passed, and I'm not expecting that these kids today are going to do it the same way like us, you know? But they can do better than what they're doing now. You know, I think they can make music so that we who used to do it before can appreciate the ones that are doing it now.
Who are some of the artists that you enjoy listening to now?
Well, right now, you know, these young artists are very talented, you know. The only thing I don't like about is like some of them come with slackness in the tune and things like that. And you know, you have kids who are listening the radio or listening the sound system at nights, and you have old people who don't really like hear them thing there. But I would say Movado is a very talented artist, you know. You have Busy Signal, who is talented too, and a lot of the young artists are talented, but they just need guidance to put it straight.
All right. So you're not questioning their talent.
No, the talent is there because,
the lyrics.
Mark, you know, I'm still a recording artist, you know.
Right.
I'm still doing the thing.
Right.
I've just completed a brand new studio, you know.
Yeah.
State-of-the-art studio, yes. And next week, Thursday, Red Bull is going to have a workshop at my studio, you know.
All right, all right. So, right now, who are you producing?
Well, I'm producing Sizzla now, another new album with Sizzla, Pat and Tony. What I do, I mostly produce my same old-time artists. But I have new artists also that I've signed, you know, like an artist named Nature. He's a very talented young guy, you know, and I think he's going to reach far. But I also have 4 sons in the business.
That's right.
4 sons in the
have
business. They
some
are
sons doing some songs.
they are doing big things.
Actually,
big
a lot of
things.
people don't know that some of your sons have some of the biggest songs right now.
Right,
so let them know
right.
big tune is on the radio right now.
Yes, well,
And it's your son singing it
first
right
I
now.
must name Baby G. Well, by the way, I hear that in Trinidad here,
Yeah,
the name Baby G and Jam 2 is like a slang.
that's right.
But Baby G is my son, he's a producer. Jam 2 is my son, he's a producer. John is my son, he's a producer. And CJ is my son, he's a producer also. And they have produced a lot of big songs. Michael Rose, Shootout.
Right.
You got Movado and Jay-Z, that's Baby G tune. Now I got Jail again, Busy Signal.
All these songs are songs.
All these songs are my son's production.
Yeah.
They're running the road right now.
It's in the blood.
Like father, like son. Chip never fly far from the block.
So where do you want reggae music to head right now? What's the next level? it should go to?
Reggae music is in the top, you know. Reggae dancehall music is in the top, but as I said before, we need it to be more acceptable because in certain countries, some of our artists from Jamaica cannot perform because of their language.
Right.
You see?
Right.
They are preaching hate language to other people.
Right.
You know?
So you're saying you have the talent, but at the same time, be smart.
Be smart.
Use your talent.
Yes.
But you
use
don't
the
have
talent to do the right thing.
Right. Yeah. For real. Because it's a big thing all around the world, as they say, with artists, where they're talking about violence, even as they've even used Movado as an example.
Yes.
As they said, and then they're also about homosexuality.
Yes.
And so on. So it's not that, I guess you're saying that it's not that whether you support it or not. You're just saying if you're in business and you're in the music, use your head to get further.
To get the maximum. Because, some of them can't go to Europe.
Right.
They get banned from Europe.
Right.
Whenever they start, like Born to Killer. He just started the tour and, the gay population just stop it.
Yeah.
Because of his lyrics.
Right.
And that's not good for the music.
Right.
Because if you listen to the music back then, it was just
clean, nice music.
Roots,
sweet,
loving music, lyrics.
Yeah. So you're not saying no to any type of music at all.
No.
Just keep it nice and clean.
Just
Be
keep
smart.
it clean.
This is what you're choosing as your profession.
Yes.
You make money and make a living.
Right.
Eat a food, as we say.
Of course. Eat a food, no food.
Anybody with questions for King Jammy? Now is the time. There's a couple of people here.
Mike. Where's the mic?
Yeah, young lady coming right there.
All right, first, good night, King Jammy. I want to say big respect because you were a pioneer from back then till now.
Yeah.
Right. Question. All right. Through your producing experience, what takes? Okay. What you find people grab more at? The beat, the melody of the singer or whoever, the lyrics. What is that you find take the cake nowadays?
Well, you're speaking of nowadays.
Well, I'm speaking, okay, like from your time, from the time you started,
okay, I understand.
straight up till now. What you find people get the crowd attention. I know, okay, the slang thing was a beat that catches everybody's attention. Old people, young people, babies, the beat catches your attention. But then after, okay, like, is it the beat? Is it the lyrics of the song? Is it the melody that would take a song further than?
Everything goes together.
Right. Okay.
But in the 80s, most of my production was the beat. Because what happened is that when I came with the slang thing, that beat captivate the whole world. All the youths, everybody who wanted a change, they came to change. So what was happening then? People were looking now for other beats to come forward. You know what I mean? So the beat kind of happened. But the melody, the catchy lyrics, that's a main ingredient for a hit song.
Yeah, good night, King Jammy. My name is Ken Holder.
Yes, sir.
I have two questions for you. One is, do you have a favorite Trinidad artist? Or are you familiar with?
Could you speak up a little bit for me?
Are you familiar with Trinidad artists? And do you have a favorite Trinidad artist?
Well, I will answer that now. I don't remember the name of the artist, but I was in England about 4 years ago, and I heard a song named Weed Feel, right? That tune was released in England, and believe you me, when I heard that song, I said to myself, wonder if I could find that guy. I would record an album with him right now, and I heard that he was from Trinidad. Maranasha, that's the name, wicked tune. And the way we sang that song, I thought it was a Jamaican, you know what I mean? But I think reggae-wise, because I listen to calypso and soca and everything,
Second question is, King Jammy, is what is the possibility for Trinidad artists and producers to come to Jamaica instead of like going New York and other places, other cities to record? What is the possibility to like book in your studio and for you to have a real interest in helping us, because you all are the mecca of music in the Caribbean, with all due respect to like Barbados and other islands who's doing really well right now. What are the possibilities for you all employing, in a real sense, signing local Trinidad artists to from Jamaica to the world?
All it needs for an artist from Trinidad or a producer to come to my studio is to just, contact me. And you're welcome anytime. because I've had producers from all over the world come to my studio to record, artists from all over the world come there to record. You know what I mean?
Thank you very much, King.
Yeah, man.
Who are some of the
Respect.
famous producers and that have come to your studio to record?
Well, people from Japan, I don't think you'll know those people. People from most of Japan. Japanese,
Yeah.
because reggae is big in Japan, you know.
Right.
Most Japanese because I released the first, like, digital album in Japan,
All right.
which was a Slangting album.
Right.
And from then, the Japanese sort of, you know, take keen interest in, you know, coming to my place and recording there and things like that. So you have a lot of producers in Japan. You have producers from Australia who came there to do work, America. You know, we do recordings for a lot of producers around the world.
Any more questions?
Good night, Sir Jammy.
Good answer.
With everything being said, what would be your final words of advice for a young producer coming up?
Okay. Well, as I mentioned before, a producer, I think a record producer should be involved in like knowing an instrument, couple instrument. You see, when you're producing a song, you don't just sit down and the artists and the musicians just play. You should be able to tell them what to play for you. Because when you do that, it's a business, you know. You'll control some of the publishing. You'll get earnings from the publishing, from the release of the song, all different ways. So I think a producer should know how to play some instrument.
Yeah, good afternoon, King Jammy.
That's it.
My question for you is, what is your production team like in terms of...
Could you speak up? I didn't hear that.
What's your production team like in terms of the musicians you'd employ, the engineers? How would you go about selecting the right people for these different roles in the production team?
Well, most of my musicians, it's like I groom them from before they can play instrument, you know what I mean? We have rehearsal rooms there with instrument that you come and you learn to play music. And most of them I send them to school to learn to play instrument. Like some singers would come there, don't have the proper lyrics. We send them to learn, you know, voice training and lyrical. We have writers there who write songs for you know. So like the musicians are musicians that I know. Some of them I might just hear about this musician. I mean, just hear a new rhythm and say, boy, is John play the drum there now? Somebody just draw for John. I make John come play drum on my rhythm too. With incorporating with my regular musicians. So we get a sound. So that's why every time when you hear Jammy's thing, we have new sound coming.
One more question. Sorry. This next question is, you said that once a producer wants to come and work with you, all you have to do is get in contact with you. How might someone do that?
Well, I would give you address and thing after the...
Yeah, after the show we can give you all that information.
Yes.
That's good. Anybody else with any questions? There's someone over here. Yeah.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
I noticed that earlier on you mentioned that in the start of your career you started out in pirate radio.
No, I didn't start out in pirate radio. King Tubby's had a pirate radio station. And I used to hang out there with him.
I want to ask you a question. How influential is pirate radio in the Jamaican music structure? And what was it? Why was it necessary to have pirate radio in the first place? What were the obstacles that caused pirate radio to come about? Yeah?
At that time.
Well, I'll tell you something. That was an experiment. It wasn't that we wanted to play music because we weren't producing that time. You understand? We were technicians at that time. So we experienced like we were just searching around, doing some things, and we made a transmitter. And we decided to transmit something because we used to have one radio station, RGR. So we think we could do something to entertain our area because it was an island-wide. We used to transmit in our area alone.
So it was a technician thing at the time?
Yes, the technician thing. But, you know, the government found out about it and locked it down. So,
as always.
I was wondering as well, the majority of music that is played in Trinidad on the radio is really foreign music, yeah? So musicians here don't really get that much opportunity to have their music played. One question I want to find out is how fundamental in island culture, as being in an island, how fundamental do you think it is to the rise of a person's music to have it played on the radio? Do you think that that is imperative for your music to be played on the radio for you to rise as an artist, or there are other means that can be explored for you to have your music, become popular? Yeah.
Yes, I don't know about the sound system and clubs in Trinidad, but I mean, it's not only radio alone can promote your song. You can get it played in the clubs. In Jamaica, the top sound system even burst the tune bigger than the radio stations nowadays. Because what happened in Jamaica, radio stations, DJs, they are producers too. And they don't want to play your music before theirs. And they collect money to some time for play. So I mean, See, the local poor people producer, them can't afford to pay them big money there. So them prefer go to the sound system and, the man that bust some music for them.
Anybody else?
Yes. Good night, King Jammy.
Good night.
What is your most memorable song or favorite album and why?
Well, why so much? But my most memorable song is Under My Slang Thing. Because that tune is a tune where really changed the whole acoustic music system and bring it to the digital. So that is a big step. And that is my biggest hit. That's my biggest hit song, so it's my most memorable song.
Anybody else?
Good night. You spoke about the radio and the sound system and things like that. Where you see the digital distribution coming into play more as opposed to the radio, as opposed to the sound system. How you see the digital distribution coming on now and also affecting how the record pressing industry that had in Jamaica and the Caribbean?
Well, I tell the truth, it flapped the record industry, it flapped the vinyl industry. Because I didn't tell you, but I'm a manufacturer of records also. I have my record factory that I press records and thing. The digital thing now, it started to cut the sales of the music. It's another format, but there are lots of other things to just selling a CD. You have download, you have ringtones. You can make more money from the business now. But the sales of the record, it dropped. The real thing was the vinyl, where, a man play a vinyl and you don't enjoy playing a vinyl. And, when a vinyl sell, you get the real money and thing, you know what I mean? But I think it will get better later on. When they invent something to cut out the piracy. Piracy is the main thing that is doing it.
Excuse me, good night, King Jammies.
Good night.
Good night. I'm from a media house, Synergy TV, and I think that our duty and responsibility is to push the entertainers, regardless if they're known, unknown. Our duty is to give that person their career push and keep it in rotation. How does it affect in Jamaica? How influential is the media involved with the new artists and giving their sound that push and recognition where the artist is concerned?
Well, the media plays a great part, But in Jamaica, some of the media people are biased. I'm telling the truth. I'm not busy for my hear about this, but them biased. And them can, if you have a great talented youth coming up, the media can just flap him, kill him right away. If they don't see the positiveness to write about him or to even talk about him. You know what I mean? I think the media should play a more positive part in grooming a young artist.
I agree. So do you find that they get the write-ups or their frequent articles or media houses that give them that push? Is there a rhythm with that where that is concerned from our angle?
Well, yes, you have media houses to push them to, yes. You have media to push them. But some of the things that they say about the artists, they're not positive, they're not proven things. Media just get up there, hear a thing, hear some, come up and write tomorrow or talk about it. And that's not good for the young people, artists. You have to give the young youth them a break. They are going to be the men of tomorrow. Respect.
Yeah, you have a lot of people who have come to you in your studio looking for a break, looking to make their song, make the music. How do you choose who has it or not?
Well, as I say, we have auditions, and on Thursday all day is audition. People from all over Jamaica come to King Jammy's studio.
Right.
We have like 2 or 3 rooms that were set up.
So there is a process.
There's a process. We listen to the artists. We play our beats. We listen to the artists. We listen to the voice quality. We listen to the lyrical contents. First of all, you have to have good vocal quality. If you come with some foolish lyrics, we can write good lyrics. But what interests me most, if your voice is good,
Right.
me want to record you. You know what I mean?
All right. Yeah. Anybody else with any questions? Yeah.
Hi, good night.
Good night.
Okay, well, assuming that when you started off, they didn't really have any royalty collection centers operating in Jamaica, am I right?
I don't hear.
This is assuming that when you started off, when you just started producing music, that there was no royalty collections in Jamaica at that time. He's asking.
Yeah, man.
Everything was set up
Yeah,
official?
because you had companies like Dynamic Sounds and Sonic Sounds.
Okay, so who pushed that to start in the first place? Was it the government? Was it that producers and artists came together and pushed that to be implemented? Or
kicked
was
off
it
the-
No, let me tell you what really happens. Most of us who had companies abroad who distributed our products, we knew about publishing and royalties. The young artists didn't know about that. So most of the producers in Jamaica didn't used to really pay artists for publishing and things like that. So that just went until some of the producers and some of the managers, brought it up front, and then you'd start move forward.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jammies, I want to know if you get any inspiration out of Studio One, Sir Coxon.
Say it again.
I want to know if you get any inspiration out of Studio One music, Sir Coxon. As a studio was there before, King Jammies, not you?
He said he wants to know if you got any inspiration of a Studio One.
Yes, man. Studio One Records inspire all of us as producers. Because Mr. Dad is one of the godfather. Also Treasure Isle. Those when I was a boy, short pants, I used to ride my bicycle, go downtown, go listen to them sound system there before me have sound. So them bring inspiration to me, them influence me a lot.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
What I'd like to know is if you look internationally today, the US artists are using merchandising to push themselves and their finance. Selling t-shirts, sneakers, everybody has a clothing line now.
Yeah.
It's not happening in the Caribbean. Do you think it's a positive direction for us? I know it is going to limit the sales because they're actually using the piracy to promote themselves and just make money off their clothing line.
Well, it's happening now in Jamaica. It's happening to some of the artists. Being a man of a clothing line and Sizzlard have, some of the artists have, my son Baby G just started a clothing line. I don't have a clothing line, but memorabilia, turntable mats and all them things there. They were manufactured in Japan. I have that thing going since 1985.
Anybody else?
Mr. Jammies.
Yes, sir.
I'd like you to explain to the viewers right now how important it is for sound systems and dub plates with reference to the music industry.
Okay. Well, sound system in Jamaica is a traditional thing. Because when I was a youngster, you used to have a sound system almost on every corner in that era. Even 2 boxes. Them big man used to have them like a sound system and thing there. And I think it's very, very important. It's a very important part sound system play in the creation of music and the love of the music. You see, dub music is a special music. The way I term dub music is music that is not released. When I used to play dub on my sound, it's tune that was pre-released. So I wanted people to hear it for the first time, for me to see how it's gonna go if it's time to release this song. So sound system play a very important part for dub.
Yeah, good night. Respect King Jammy's.
Good night, sir.
Right. I know I read about you have King Jammy's records, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to know if you have any advice to up-and-coming record companies or just production companies who have product in terms of getting music out there. I know you address the issue in terms of the industry changing and digital and whatnot, but for production companies down here in Trinidad and record companies in terms of getting their product outside, what advice would you have, you know?
You mean like the songs that are produced in Trinidad? You wanted to get
well, not just songs, more product,
Anything,
whether it be
yeah.
an album
Talking
or
about the overall
compilation.
industry, whether it's from production, whether it's artists, to take it international, whether it's beat makers, anything.
Oh,
What's the best avenue to get it there?
Good. First, I think the song would have to be released in your own country. Well, most reggae music is produced in Jamaica. When we want a buzz from a song, a foreign, we release the Jamaica first. Then a record company abroad, international company, hear it. If it's a go on with things at Jamaica, then them pick it up. But you have another way you can do it. You can send the songs abroad to be released by record companies, mostly in England and America. Because England, you know, is one of the leading reggae, you know, countries in the world, that distributors, you know, and big companies. So, say for instance, you have a song with an artist like Beenie Man, and you think the song will make it. You know, you send it to be released to a company in England, like Greensleeve or Jetstar, and, you know, sign a contract with them, and, you know, you do your thing, them will push it for you in England, and it's easier for them to push it in England for it to go on the British chart. When a song enters the British chart, it's an international tune right away. So I think you should take that road, you know, like releasing it abroad.
All right, well, I just have one more question. I realize you now mentioned releasing it in the country first, right? In your homeland, say. I just want to ask something. From reading, I heard that the government in Jamaica, in the history of music, at one point regulated radio play to be of a certain local percentage. Is that true? And how do you think did that help, if it is true?
I don't think it's the government did that. I knew it was regulated once. That is why IRFM came about. IRFM is strictly reggae music. You know what I mean? One at a time, reggae music was sort of lacking on the radio stations, the other radio stations in Jamaica. So IRFM came about and them can't stop it now, you know what I mean? I don't think it was the government though. I think it was just the people who just don't love what go on.
And would you say that that was beneficial in terms of you being a producer, a man who created music, in terms of the music getting out there?
No, well, it didn't affect me because, as I said before, I had my sound system, you know what I mean? So I used that medium to establish my songs.
Anybody else with any more questions? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Videos. How important are videos in the music industry nowadays in terms of establishing an artist and even being more important than just the song being released on the radio?
Videos play a vital part, especially nowadays. Because people are hearing the music, they want to see the people who produce the music, who you know, sing the music. So video play a big part in especially nowadays music.
So is it possible then, just to add on to that, is it possible then to make a song, go straight to video, forget about releasing it on the radio, forget about sending it to England, and send the video instead.
No, what they do in Jamaica is like, they release the song first, let it play on the radio for a couple of weeks, and then they do the video. And the video come on TV. People have to hear the song and get familiarized with the song. Then they want to see who is performing.
Well, I would just assume that it wouldn't play on the radio in Trinidad. So you do the video.
Well, I think video would be good. If you don't get it played on the radio, then you go straight to video.
Boom.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. I just have a same question. The same question, as you said, if the song would play on radio at all, but as a young producer, did you ever feel a need to get violent towards the song that we playing, or did you ever get violent while promoting a song?
We're not hearing it. First of all, who's...
Hold on, the night.
All right.
Yeah, as a young producer, did you ever feel the need to get violent against a DJ for not pushing a tune, or did you ever get violent in the music as a young producer?
Get violent?
Yeah.
You mean in producing violent songs?
He's saying when you produce a song and you don't hear it on the radio if you ever...
No, well...
Feel the need to, or if you ever...
I'm not really a violent man. No.
Feel things, if you ever get that feeling.
What you feel how you bad about it, but you know what that do to me? Strengthen me. Because if me hear them play a tune, them say one day they must play one of my tunes. So let's try to make a better song. You know what I mean? And eventually must get played.
Yeah, good night. Yeah, I want to find out why, well, today as young youths, as artists especially, right? The radio DJs in Trinidad, I ain't going to say Trinidad alone, but all around the world, is give the youths fight down to get their tunes playing now. What you want to say towards that?
Say it again.
The youths today, right, as artists growing up and looking to come out, right? In Trinidad, what they putting money toward, they putting money in front of about the music then now, right? And they letting that come between what they have to play new music then now, and saying, well, they have to pay a certain amount of money to get the thing play for half an hour a day, you know what I mean, like that. What you have to say towards that? Like the fight down then now.
I think he's saying that. What do you think about a young person trying to bring out a song and want to get it played, and people tell them, yo, you have to pay me to get it played. That's what they're saying?
Yeah.
Well, that's what's happening in Jamaica. That's what I tell you. That's what's happening in Jamaica. And people pay them money for get it played too because, you know what I mean, they want to play. I mean, the producers in Jamaica, they try to make friends with the radio personalities. But all of them radio man in Jamaica now are producers. So they try to keep down the smaller man music and play their music. But like people like me now and, you know, my entourage and things like that, them can't stop we can make good music.
Yeah.
We make big music.
Big up.
Anybody else?
Yeah, hello. I have one more question, right? I want to find out what you feel, in your opinion, is the importance of live musicianship now to the longevity of music and songs lasting the test of time now, as opposed to music that is made digitally, you know, lasting the test of time.
Well, I tell you this, you know. Both music can last the same time. Depends on the quality of the music. But to tell the truth, if you want to hear the real roots thing, a live thing, you know. But as a business person, you have to incorporate the digital thing now. Because it's no thing. But just keep it good.
All right. Anybody else? Where what's one of the countries that you were surprised to find out that reggae music was so big?
Well, I tell you the truth.
When you heard about it, or artists went there, or you get some news and you...
Japan, you see Japan? When I went to Japan, I didn't know that reggae music was so big there. Because I'm not an artist.
Right.
And I get more big up than the artist that was on the show.
So what was your first experience? You went to a club, show?
No, what happened is that my sound system went on a tour to Japan.
Right. Right.
Because I have a company, there's a company in Japan by the name of Alpha.
Right.
Recording company that they distribute my songs.
Right.
In Japan. And they took us to Japan. And when we went to Japan, you know, it was bigger than I expected.
Right.
I didn't know that reggae music was there. They even have a sound system by the name of Jammy's there.
Yeah.
They have a club by Jammy's, you know.
What?
Yeah, man, them respect me down there, man.
Yeah, hope you get some royalties.
Yeah, man.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I just had one more. Well, it's a question, but it's really a suggestion, really. No? Because I know right now in this forum here, in this room, we have a lot of artists from Trinidad, a lot of talented people, all different genres, hip-hop, reggae, calypso, rap, so all kind of thing. So I was wondering what, somebody asked it earlier, was the possibility of you working with somebody from Trinidad, right? But what I would like to suggest is, I know you're from Jamaica and you represent Jamaica, you work with Jamaican artists. Would you be able to do a rhythm just for Trinidad? A rhythm for Trinidad artists. Either you or one of your sons do a rhythm and voice Trinidad artists.
He's saying, what are we suggesting? What about if you or your son, anybody from your production company, do a rhythm exclusively for Trinidad and Tobago and then get some Trinidad and Tobago artists to perform on that rhythm?
Oh, well, Trinidad national music is what? Calypso?
Yeah.
Trinidad have all kind of music.
Yeah.
All kind. We are mix up kind of place, you know, so we have everything.
Our national music would be calypso, yes.
Right. But
yes, would be calypso.
What I'm trying to say is that
if it's national, you say yes.
What I'm trying to say is that reggae music has been played and accepted in Trinidad also, right?
That's right.
So it would be best if we have an artist from Trinidad, you know, want us to produce a song, then we would make a rhythm for that artist's feel, because you have to make it for the feel of the artist. You can't make it for the feel of the country, you know?
All right.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Last chance to talk to.
Poopa Jammies.
Yes, sir.
I know you've had the experience to work with
Just stand up so you can see Roger.
like producers such as Bunny Lee, and I know you've had the opportunity to work with like Johnny Clark and stuff, right? How important is the artist vibe in the studio to you? Like their vibes, like how important is that to you?
Say it again.
How important is the energy of the artist? And what influences the artist have on you?
That's very, very important. Very, very important. Because that defines the texture of the artist and the type of production that you're going to do for that artist.
True.
That's very, very good question.
That's it.
Anybody else? Yeah, one person here.
Hello. I'd like to ask a question. With your experience and your knowledge with the musical history, what is the one question that you have not really been asked tonight that you find that whether it be producers or the artists themselves should pay particular attention to? So is there any question that was overlooked that you find that a producer or an artist should have taken this opportunity to ask? I would like to know the question and the answer to that question.
Well, I think you people here have asked everything, you know, because one of the main things I wanted to say, and somebody asked me the question about the young upcoming producers, you know, how they should approach the business, and that question was asked already, you know, and I think the young producers or young artists, as I said, should know something about music, play some instrument, or the artist should know something about the business, the publishing. That's a part of the business. It don't make a sense in the sense the artist get up and start to sing and don't know that when he sings the music, his rights is there. If he's him write the lyrics, he's collecting a different money from his tune selling $1 million. You understand? So he should be educated about the business part of the whole thing. And he will benefit full time.
All right.
Hello.
Good night.
Jamaican music is widely played in Trinidad and Tobago. Tell me, how widely played is Trinidad music in Jamaica?
Yeah, man. Trinidad music played nothing in Jamaica. We have a carnival in Jamaica.
You have a carnival in Jamaica?
Yes, man.
Yeah.
Trinidad soca played enough of Jamaica. Byron Lee introduced it to Jamaica, and it's big in Jamaica.
Now tell me something. Is Bob Marley music still widely played in Jamaica?
Of course.
Is he Jamaica's most
Bob Marley is
successful
dead
artist?
Bob Marley is dead in flesh, but he's here in spirit, everywhere in the world.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. One, okay.
Hi, good night.
Good night.
The question I would like to ask is, with your musical experience in the business, what it is you think soca music, what is missing from soca music? I don't use the word missing, but that is for lack of a better term. What is missing from soca music, from what it is you're hearing, that is not reaching to the masses, like how Jamaican music is international, you know, hitting to the pop markets and the European markets? What you hearing, just as an opinion, what you hearing that is missing, or what we should do as artists and as producers and as musicians to get soca music out there?
Well, like reggae music, you see, as I said to a person a while ago, if you don't have some distribution abroad to spread the thing, it won't become international. So I think soca music need somebody outside of the country where it is produced to distribute and manage it properly, to let it reach the heights where it's supposed to be.
All right, okay. All right, okay. That's all the questions we're going to take.
Well, I would just like to thank Red Bull for having me here, and all the people who turned out tonight. You know, I enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
That's it. An icon in the music industry. Jammy, thanks again. Great having you. Great having you. All right, we want to invite Casey from Trinity Scene. They're going to be doing something new concerning music with Trinidad and Tobago. Let him explain exactly what it's all about. Something called Z Music. So, Casey. And it could be a very important avenue for artists who are trying to get their music out there. So, Casey, let's welcome Casey on board.
Good night, everyone.
All right, just go right up.
Good night, everyone. I'm not going to be too long. Oh.
Yeah.
Night, everyone. Not gonna be too long tonight. Just came to give you all some info on a project that we're launching, and actually this project was inspired by the Music Academy. In 2006, I went to Jamaica on the behalf of the Music Academy, and had Fiona showed me around Jamaica. Went around to the different studios and see what's going on, and seeing the music scene across there. Coming from that, I was like so impressed how dedicated and how producers and artists there was working hard to develop all this new music and stuff like that now. So I wanted to find a way where we as a Caribbean community could have come together and have our music played for everyone to hear all the time, every time, every artist, any genre of music. So brainstorming, we came together with this site called Z Music. It's something similar to like a MySpace for the artists, where they could go put up their bio, their photos, their videos, their music and stuff like that. But what works great too is, like a regular user like me, I could come log on and actually listen to all the music that the artists, as soon as they upload, I have a chance to kind of put it together as a playlist, and more or less my little online radio station. If you just go through the site, I mean, we have like a section there for like ordinary members, This is the online radio where we compile the music and stuff like that. Basically, just a demo we just put together today for people to see. Where this is basically when they log on, go on the front page, asking people to join on. If you're an artist, a band member, a DJ, I mean, once you have any type of piece of music, you could go put it on for the public to hear anytime, all the time, 24/7. If you go to the section where it has members, and click on a member. You click on chant. All right, this is the kind of idea of you coming on as a member, where this member, you can see she has like all the music that she compiled of her favorite artist or any song that she's hearing that people come, she could listen to and stuff like that now. So that just kind of get an idea how it's gonna work across the board. Really hope we have some promo people here signing people up to be a part of the site. We hope a lot of the artists take part. We'll be launching on June the 5th, so we really like a lot of y'all to come on board and kind of help us bridge this musical gap that we have in the Caribbean.
So is it free to join?
It's free to join for artists and members.
All right. But is it basically anybody who is a producer, artist, anything, DJ,
yeah,
can come up and join and upload the music onto the site?
Yeah.
All right. How much room do they have?
Any
Kids?
amount of room. They could
Anyone?
their music, their videos, any information, latest photos, anything, just to keep your fans in tune of what's going on with you all the time, every time, kind of thing.
All right. Is it just Trinidad and Tobago music, or anybody? Is it international?
It's basically regional.
Regional.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, we launched it in Trinidad, but the whole hope is, especially with help with the Music Academy, to get the communication out there in Jamaica, in Barbados,
Right.
Antigua,
To-
everywhere
to-
that
to
they
network,
can.
to network,
because
basically.
we want to create this as the Caribbean MySpace, where people can come get new music when they want it, all the time, every time, kind of thing.
All right.
It just online, yeah.
All right. Anybody need any more information? Well, of course, you could go to trinidad.com, and you're launching when?
On June 5th.
June 5th, where?
At a
Are they
location
at-
to be disclosed.
But it's going to be online. It's
Yeah,
going to
it's
be on
gonna
the
be
site.
online, yeah.
So check it out June 5th. You want to know where it is? Check out trinidad.com. And a lot of people have been asking for avenues to get music out there. I think this is definitely one of the great choices you've made for local music and TNT to get out there. So this is your chance to do your own thing. All right? We just want to invite Fiona back on the set one more time. Thanks, Casey.
Okay.
Red Bull Music Academy. Where is it again this year, Fiona?
It's going to be in Barcelona, Spain.
Barcelona, Spain.
Right.
And what, when?
It's,
This- this will-
it's going to be on September the 21st, the first session,
All right.
to October the 3rd.
All right, okay.
Then the second session is October the 12th to October the 24th.
All right. Anything else that you want us to know?
Well, you can check out everything on the website. Again,
Right.
www.redbullmusic academy. You'll find the application there.
Right.
You have until May the 5th to apply for this.
You have until May 5th.
Until
So
May 5th.
May 5th is the deadline to apply to join the Red Bull Music Academy that's going to be in Barcelona, Spain this year?
Okay, there's over that side you'll find applications and also computers, laptop. You can look on the website and see a little bit more on that
All
as
right.
well.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like us to know?
Don't forget, if you're applying, you need to do a CD with what music that expresses you as a musician, a producer, whatever.
All right. Something that you produce yourself?
Yes.
All right. Okay. That's it? Anything else you want to know?
And the address to apply, you will find that on the application here. So it's to Germany.
All right.
That has to be done by May the 5th.
Remember, everybody, May 5th is the deadline.
All right.
Yeah? All right. So I want to thank all our guests tonight. I want to thank Sawande Simon, one of the participants in the Red Bull Music Academy back in 2006. Of course, I want to thank Frionia for coming. We want to thank King Jammy's, a special guest tonight, and we also want to thank the Red Bull Music Academy for, having this info session here today so that everybody, you have a chance to apply and see if you can get through to the academy. So, once again, we want to thank everybody for coming out. Anybody from Red Bull wants to say anything? Roper? Yeah, we're good. All right. Thank you very much.
What's the
That's
Purdy
it.
Shuffle?
Thank you.
Purdy Shuffle is quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th notes, 32nd notes, dotted notes, triplets, half notes, whole note, everything except 64. Doom, doom, doom.